Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
All right, greetings, salutations. Another episode of Fangs up here, and man, came on here to talk about FAMU going to the University of Tampa to play. Having to kind of delve into what's going on with the basketball program here. So that was an interesting bit of news and a little bit of tidbit there, just to kind of see that come to fruition was interesting, but to also be witness to it kind of play out over the last couple of weeks. If you're kind of watching social media, you kind of notice some stuff, but it is what it is with that. But that was kind of a shocker. But before we get too far into that, big shout out HBCU Digital Network. This is home. Shout out Herb Stewart and the Black Techies. And man, Herb's got a new band thing coming. Look, I'm gonna text her about that after the show. It's not gonna be too late. But let's dive right into that. Coach Pillow resigns, and for me, it's a little bit of shock, kind of. Uh, the season wasn't great if you were paying attention, and if you noticed, the last couple seasons of FAMU basketball, we sucked. I mean, I could lie about it. I could be honest, and I'd much rather be honest with you than anybody else. That this just was not a very good basketball program, but I'm not the complete Pillow apologist. Y'all know Coach Pillow's girl. Like that's definitely my, that was my coach on campus as far as like for the ladies program. She's really really cool. Like just whenever you spoke to her, she was honest. She was very forthright. I think the losses just kind of wore on her, and the writing on the wall. Like let's be honest, you got really a 2 year period, less than 10 wins, or was it 9 and something like that? And we actually had a better season last season than we did the season before. And you're just kind of looking like, all right, what's it going to be this year? Because she pretty much wins the conference. It's going to be what it's going to be. I mean, honestly, I just felt like by the end of that, the writing was on the wall. And I respect her decision. I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks that it's as late in the year, but at the same point, if it is going to be what it's going to be, I'd rather leave with 40 losses than 60. I mean, 50 or 60. Like it's a difference, but it's not. And for me, the biggest difference is just that you get a chance to maybe refresh, recharge, and try it again. Um, because this failed for a lot of reasons. I mean, we can't call this anything but a failure as a program. But that's why I say it's a failure as a program. It's not just something where he just sucked as a coach. I mean, yeah, exactly. You hit the nail on the head, good brother. Like we all know the writing was on the wall. She's in her last year, probably wouldn't get a new contract. I mean, unless you make the NCAA tournament, you're not getting a new contract. Why go through all that hell and headache for nothing? Um, and the system failed. One thing is a tough job. I mean, let's not act like she walked into this as a winning program. She came after this, I believe, after what was that LaDon Gibson, and I mean that part of that was a train wreck. Like we got a player who gets killed under that uh, tenure, like domestic violence type stuff on the women's basketball team. So she didn't enter a healthy program. Along with that, you inherit a program that's under some restrictions. COVID hits her first season, so that season goes to hell. And then consistently a lack of depth. And that's on her. I ain't gonna lie. Like when she was over there talking about not having 15 players, some of that was on her. You got to have a full roster if you can, because we saw back-to-back seasons the same thing happen, injuries. and that's part of the game. Anybody who plays sports, you have injuries. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you didn't play anymore but high school football. This is from football. This is from football. Like I didn't go past high school with when it comes to football. College athletes are gonna get hurt. They're no different than you or me. I mean, that's why some of us don't play ball anymore. Look, I wear this jersey and it's comfortable, and it's got FAMU on it. It's a FAMU LeBron jersey. It's a white jersey. You know what the color white can mean. So a little bit of sad tears here. But at the same point, looking forward, this is a broken program as far as a broken basketball program. I mean, you could call it something else if you want to, but we really haven't seen any success since maybe Claudette Farmer. That's been a long time. I'm just saying, FAMU basketball, women's has been bad to mediocre for a while. Men's has been inconsistent, but the women's program, we're flirting with really a decade of utility almost. And you kind of look at the program and you start asking that obvious Bill Goldberg question of who's next. Um, I think the obvious answer is probably going to be right down the street and already in the Florida retirement system, and you're going to look at Coach Mark at FAMU DRS. I think that's the obvious look. I think she's the person that's obviously been getting some attention. I don't think I'll say this. Any person that's been paying half a second worth of attention is going to notice that AD Sykes has been at FAMU DRS event, and that we could lie about this or we could be realists. And y'all know me. I'm gonna tell you straight up how I feel about something. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it too bad. I mean, I would sugarcoat it if it benefits me. But at the same point, when it comes to W's and L's, I'm gonna tell you straight up how I feel about it. I'll tell you if we're gonna lose, and if we win, and I predicted my team's gonna lose, I'm gonna celebrate. I don't care. I'm not one of them trash talkers. I go back and check round one with little boy St. Clair, and you'll see. It came to my Miami Heat, I would tell you straight up when I thought my team. Same thing here. I think this is the person that you're gonna look at that gets the first look. She's a proven winner. She's local. She understands the recruiting area. Seems to be on the AD's radar. Again, notice AD Sykes has been a quiet few FAMU DRS events. Just saying, and she's a natural fit. Now, the only reason I personally don't really, I don't want to say don't want sounds like I don't want her to be coach here. Actually, I really think she would be a great addition to the athletics. The reason I don't really like the addition right now is the time. She's coming in at a time when what 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 are you going to be able to do? Like you're going to come in during the recruiting dead period. You're going to come in at a time when really you can't do much. Like all you can do is coach the players that you have and try to recruit them to stay. Like, what happens for those players who all of a sudden are like, I don't know what the hell is going to happen to my scholarship offer, and somebody else offers them? You'd be a fool to stay. I mean, just being honest, if you've committed to FAMU and some other school is offering you, and they're saying, and the coach is there and secure, I'm going there, opposed to some place where we see how FAMU foolishness is. And if you saw ONG Strike Zone, I was tongue in cheek a little bit, and I was joking, but we saw how long it took for us to hire a freaking AD. I mean, I lamented that thing for months. Even after we hired AD Sykes, it took 2 months, 3 months for her to get on campus. I'm just saying, if it's not gonna happen in 2 weeks, it's gonna be a problem. And I'm with Cousin Kel. Like, I really don't want the president getting involved in running committees and all this other crap. No, hire somebody. Like, at this point, go get my man Brian Fulford from ONG Strike Zone and pay him to be the coach because we need somebody. Like, sitting up here playing the interim game is stupid. And we are notorious as a university for putting people in interim positions and letting them sit there for too long. And this is one of those positions where you really can't do that. Basketball is one of our 2 revenue producing sports. You got 2. It's football and basketball. Everybody else costs money. The only ones that can produce money are football and basketball. It's imperative that Gator is something. And go back and check. We got some big teams coming in for men's basketball. I mean, University of Oregon's coming to the Lawson Center. I might make a trip. Like, but just to kind of be like, yo, I don't even know if I want to work the game. I might actually try to enjoy it as a fan. but just being real about it. Like FAMU basketball has been in a quagmire for 7 to 10 years, and it's really it's it's futility. Like we've been mired in it, and it's a lot of problems. I mean, again, it's a lot. And for me, I'll tell you who I want. Who I want is Tom Jason from University of Texas. I told y'all that when I got there. I was like, this guy's out at a Division II school doing numbers. And I'm just saying, I don't again, there's another guy where it would be a tough sell to get somebody to come here at this point of the year, but that's who I want. Personally, I'm a Tom Jesse guy because of the numbers. Like, I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm about data. If you know me well, I'll talk trash to you, but I'll talk numbers first. And to me, the numbers speak for themselves. This is the University of Texas website. You can go check 30 seasons, 16 NCAA appearances, 8 conference championships, and he's got above 500 record. And he graduated from HBC. So if that means anything to you, that's fine. Me personally, I ain't gonna curse this Sunday, but I can give two flips. I care not if you go to an HBCU. I want to. I'm sorry. I'm with my dad on this one. I don't care. Black, blue, polka dot. I want to win, and that is what I'm seeing at a Division II program. At a Division II program where normally you go to the games for the girls and the men's games, you're talking about 100 people. I'm not telling you what somebody told me. I'm telling you there from what I've seen. And it's a fun game. I'm not gonna lie. University is pretty, sweet gym. Do it. Like you go into where they have their basketball gym set up. It's the size of a high school gym, but they have everything there. It's a great layout. The baseball stadium blows more kiddos away. I mean, it's not even close, how they are as far as facility wise. But I'm just gonna be honest with you about this one. Um, this is the guy I want, and for the reasons again, championships, HBCU grad, if that matters anything to you, and he coached college and high school. And you look at his roster, he's got players from Florida, players from outside of Florida, so he can recruit. And he's got players. Honestly, he's got girls that are bigger than I. That don't mean everything, but sometimes size can help. And he had one girl last year. Man, this young lady was a ball. She was all conference last year. When I was going to games, and yeah, I mean, this is what you bring in a program that is program like this. You bring somebody with structure and success. You don't bring in new people. And one of the biggest problems we have with athletics in general, AMU athletics has become a proving ground for unproven. It's oftentimes a place where people get their first chance. We don't, or we recycle people. Like somebody that came out of somewhere else, you feel like they didn't get a fair shake, you bring in a family, and all of a sudden you're gonna get some type of success. You're not. Like, let's call it what it is. I mean, I loved the comments during the season, like, and listening to other people, "Why didn't you fire Coach Phil?" And I asked somebody in athletics, I was like, "Do you think they're gonna replace my girl?" And they were like, "Well, what money? And you got $150, $150,000 check to stroke?" And I was like, "Not for that." And the answer, "No." I'm like, "Okay, then. She ain't going nowhere." And that's just the reality of it. We're not in a position financially. You just fire coaches who are losing. Right? We can miss me with all that. Somebody's not winning, fire 'em crap. I mean, that's what it should be. You know, that's within a perfect athletic world. That's what you're doing. And you ain't that. We're not that program. Not that guy. Not when the athletic director is saying the athletic budget is about 10, it should be close to 13. For everything you dream to be about 18. You know, at this point, FAMU's not that. And if FAMU's not gonna be that, you're gonna have to create a program that's gonna become that. In order to become that, you have to win. And you have to stop hiring people who this is their first time. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I tell y'all, I like Coach Phillips. I liked her as a person. As a coach, I thought she was actually pretty solid. She knew her stuff. It's just when you sat on the sideline, players just sometimes they didn't listen, and sometimes they tried to do their own thing because they were frustrated too. They got tired of losing. Like, don't act like she couldn't coach just because they didn't listen. We all been that athlete where the coach is telling you to do something and the season's not going well, and you're like, "Man, I'm gonna do my own thing because I know what I do works." And all of a sudden, when what you do don't work, you kinda like, "Well, man, coach won't listen to me." Like, there's some of that going on at times. Like, you go back and watch some film. There's a whole lot of coach over there that's stumbling their heels because sometimes players do their own thing. I remember sitting up here saying, "No more cross court passes," because the girls will throw the ball across court and some girl steals, and you're like, "Bruh, you're not that good. Yeah, like, what are you doing?" And Coach Stewart would literally be like, "I don't know what the hell they're doing." Like, "Sure, I'm good." And you couldn't be mad at her because you seeing the same thing she does. Like, I'm just saying, so what you're gonna have to do is you gotta get somebody. And when FAMU's had success on the basketball court and really almost any place, it's been with experienced coaches. Coaches who either come with experience or programs with experience. I mean, you go back to Rudy Hubbard. Rudy Hubbard comes from Ohio State, brings that offense, FAMU has some success, it burns out. Okay. Once the times catch up, the offense becomes stagnant, it doesn't work anymore. The next coach who comes in with the football program that's worth a damn is Billy Joe. And I meant that. I said it, and I meant it. But Billy Joe was winning. He was winning at Central State. He beat our butts. But Joe leaves, you come back in, guys who getting first time coaching experiences, that stuff ain't sugar, it's sugar is feces. We don't have any winning until we get another coach who's been winning. His name is Willie Simmons. It's a thing, right? And it's a thing that we as alumni and brass and pundits have to be able to accept within FAMU that it's not a cradle of coaching. It's not. This isn't the place where you get your first time and you become this great coach. It's a place where as an assistant you can leave and do great things, but it's not a place where you come in as your first time, you just wreck shop. I almost cursed. But it's not that. We've had our best success when we've gotten people who've been successful at places who either have had less facilities or smaller facilities, we come to FAMU. Prairie View built a brand spanking new stadium. Willie Simmons took a stadium downgrade when he came to Bragg, but the stadium was bigger. I think Prairie View Stadium is like 19, maybe 15,000, something like that, 15 to 19,000. And when they replaced Blackshear for the new stadium, but he had a brand new, like, look at that locker room, like, beautiful facilities. They come to FAMU. Comes to FAMU, and I mean, now you have a new stadium, and it's time to work on some other things, but he was a proven winner when he got here. Look at your SWAC champion baseball team. You got a proven winner in Jamie Shoup. Jamie Shoup has been to countless College World Series with Florida State University. Gets gets burned by Florida State. I ain't gonna lie. He got effed over. And comes to FAMU, and all of a sudden, within a few years, he revives the program. Don't get me wrong, I love Coach Durant, but that it wasn't it when he was it just wasn't. Like, and Coach Durant was like, as a person, I loved Coach Durant as a person. But I'm just saying, and we Coach Lucas, great dude. Coach Lucas helped me write my papers in college. And I ain't saying like help me write them. He was part of the reason I was able to write papers in college because I interviewed him. But it's just the program wasn't where it needed to get to. You bring in Jamie Shu, a proven winner who's done it at another university, who's done it in high school, and all of a sudden you have a championship program. Care if he's white, care if he's black, care that you want. Look, volleyball coaches, again, somebody that's been around, been here, comes in, gets it done. FAMU's last time doing a darn thing in basketball worth cursing about before, and I give Coach McCullum his due. Coach McCullum did well in the MEAC. Now these couple years in the SWAC, that first year was solid. I mean, you had a solid player in MJ, but last year was trash. I ain't gonna. And he even admitted that. If you wanna go back and check that, it is what it is. I'll talk about that in a second. But FAMU's at its best when we get proven winners. Um, and the last time before that, when we do go to the NCAA tournament, it's with a proven winner. Mike Gillespie comes from TCC when he was running stuff, wrecking shop at TCC. Like TCC was at times the best basketball program in the city in the Gillespie era, my opinion. Comes over to FAMU, and all of a sudden, and some of that was local talent. We're talking about guys like Jonathan Kelly that went to Childs High School, T. Woods. I mean, you had a good roster and some transfers that came in, and it was a good team. But again, you got another proven winner at a certain point in time. Even our golf coach, proven winner. But at a certain point in time, you got to stop trying to be the cradle of coaching and say, well, we can get these people who got no experience and make them great coaches. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because you're not set up like that. You're not that guy. As a university, as an athletic program, you're not created to support. And that's not speaking ill or down on the program, but it's the reality of the situation. Like you're talking about an athletic program where sometimes you get two assistants, two full-time assistants, sometimes you get three, sometimes you got one full-time assistant. You gotta be somebody that's used to being that. I give our softball coach credit. Look, sister girl is out there on the grind. Like, go watch her on Instagram. Coach is out there. Like, she's over there telling you what she looking for recruits. She's telling you to inbox her. Supposed to be on the show. I need coach. You playing. Um, yeah, I need you on the show, coach. Coach is grinding though. And she's got that young energy. That's why I'm saying if you're gonna have a program that's gonna be viable, that's gonna be respectable, you need somebody with some experience, or if you're getting somebody that's inexperienced, you need somebody that's inexperienced with experience around. The best programs that have young coaches that are inexperienced are programs that fund their assistants well. Look at Clemson. Daryl Sweeney did not that happened overnight to some of y'all, but go back and look what they did. He built a room of assistants around him and was like, "I'm gonna recruit. I'm good at that. You do Venable, you do this. Other guy, you do that. I surround myself with a defensive mind and a decent offensive coordinator, and I'll bring you talent." And it's working. But he comes up under Bowden. He learns because Bowden actually ran a solid program. If we're being real, like Clemson's been solid for a while. But I'm just saying, this is the hire somebody with some experience that's won something somewhere else that they can translate and bring to FAMU. And if you're going to hire somebody else, and this is to me why the best case scenario, and I'm eventually get on this USF thing. It's gonna be a long one. Best case scenario for me is FAMU gets a coach from another program. I like Cromartie. I think she's a coach that I want her coming after somebody retires. Give me somebody to right the ship, kinda fix it a little bit, give her something stable, and then put her in there. After you've given AD Sykes a few years, some of y'all don't like her. I don't care if you don't like my AD. That's between you and your mama. But we got the baddest AD in HBCU athletics, and I said the baddest because she's a Delta. There's a punk purposely in there. But I'm just saying, like, you don't like it, that's between you and her. That's who we got, and I'm riding with her. Give her a few years to get the money up. Improve. Basketball don't need a lot of facilities improvements. Anything, we just need some more lights. Like, get the light in Lawson better so Josh can take some better pictures, and we'll be straight. I'm on y'all for that. Like, y'all make him a man work harder than he needs. But, like, give us something where you got 2, 3 years, coach that kinda says like, "Hey, bring you in to right the ship, get you some years in the FRS system. I think a guy like this comes in for 3 to 5 years, fixes it up, gets it straight to where it's at least decent, and then that's where you bring in your young coach who's not done it before, but give him a couple assistants, and now you got something going. Because I think if you do make that hire of a young coach, it's understood within their contract, a 4 to 5-year contract. I don't think as a new coach, you're gonna give me 3 years of this. I'm just saying, as me as a person, if I'm gonna say I'm going to work at a new spot, and myself, I am going to work at a new school. Um, there are gonna be some things that need to be understood, and it could be about me. Certain things I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm a history teacher. I don't never want to teach them again. I hate it. Really. I love the kids. I hate the subject. I promise you. That's just me being an honest, transparent person. I think as a coach, if you're giving me this job as a FAMU basketball coach, I'm telling you right now, I need a 4-year contract. 'Cause this first year is a wash. Like, we need to agree that if we lose every game of the season, you ain't gonna say nothing to me because these ain't my players. This yeah, this may be my staff, but it's my staff on short notice. Like, there's a lot to do and to try to get right. Like, just to be real about this. If you're hiring a person mid-year, it's a 4 to 5-year contract, especially if it's a new coach. If you're an experienced coach, you bringing some dogs with you, I'm sorry, if you're gonna do the prime thing, and y'all know I don't reference him a lot, but okay, cool. Alright, uh, you bring your Louis Vuitton with you? Cool. I heard y'all mention the lady from Pine Bluff. I think she takes this in a heartbeat. No state income tax, the weather's right, the beach is 30 minutes away. What you gonna get paid at FAMU, you can bring whatever with you. You know, one of y'all find a job with the city. I'm just saying, you can get a beach house 30 minutes away, and it's, like, not crazily priced, and it's better beaches. I said it, the Gulf beaches are better. I'm just thinking the FAMU job is not a terrible job, but it's a fixer-upper, and so, not to get that far into it, but that's what you have to do, and the downside of a new coach, you could lose scholarships as far as scholarship players, not like NCAA Tech scholarships, but you could have players in these next couple weeks decide, "Nah, man, I'm good with it. I signed to come, but I don't know what the coaching situation is gonna be. Somebody from X whatever college is talking to me and it's guaranteed me a chance and some money. Imma take that. I'll deal with the devil I know versus the devil I and that's I mean, that's any of us. I think any of us would do that, and just like when, our students transfer, I don't get overly upset. Unless you transfer to Cook, then I kinda like I don't get upset. I'm like, "Really, bruh?" And when they transfer Cookman, I'm like, "Oh, welcome. You finally walked into the marvelous light of pettiness." But, that's kinda what it is. Now, some of the ramifications of this, that target is on the men's coach's back. Coach McCollum, target's on your back, and I'm just saying, it's already kinda there after last season. I think because he had kind of the up and down season, he does get a little bit of leeway because the season before he did well. I think he gets MEAC Coach of the Year, one of the last years at MEAC. I mean, he was actually like a decent MEAC team. And I think this recruiting cycle, he actually went to say, "Oh, this is what I gotta deal with. This is what I gotta fix." Um, so just gonna say, now if you want more on the men's team, go check out Von Wilson's recording for HBCU Game Day. He recorded that, and you can hear some questions from Claire, Gerald, Vaughn himself, Allison Posey. They all ask questions on there. It's a awesome watch, man. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. I didn't film it, but also you get information about this year's roster, and you get honestly about last year's roster, which honestly, FAMU's basketball last year, I said it, some of y'all said it, couldn't dribble. And he's finally like, "Yeah." He said it there, he's like, "Yeah, we couldn't dribble." It's like, I can tell you they couldn't dribble. I'm like, "No, I can't dribble. I know it when I see it. I'm not a dribbler. I've never been that." So, but that's what it was with FAMU basketball. Now, FAMU versus USF, that's really why I'm here, and part of why I just wanted to, talking of the basketball programs because it was the hot thing up there. But FAMU versus USF, if you haven't already seen, we got there's some special deals going on. The USF Bulls and Florida A&M University National Alumni Association in Tampa are working together. They have a ticket special where you can get tickets for $90, $45, and $25. So now, steeper the price, the closer to the speed. The $90 tickets are in section 234. These are padded seats. So you ain't gonna be able to bring your seat cushions in there. So, I mean, you might be able to, but they clear bag NFL policy, so good luck. I would say those seats are I sat in the lower section of Raymond James Stadium. I've never sat in the top, so I will tell you that. Can't tell you I've sat all over Raymond James Stadium. All my seats and pretty much in that south end zone, so always kind of near the pirate ship, either on the left or the right of it. So last time I was there was actually the USF, UCF, excuse me, UCF versus UF when the Gators lost. My wife's a UCF grad. I feel comfortable with her going to a UF game without me because I've been to UF games and I know how fans can be. And so I'd much rather you get rowdy with my wife when I'm there so that I can at least, if I'm gonna get beat up, let her run away. But I'm gonna fight. Don't take no L's like no punk. I'm gonna fight. But lowest price is $25. That is at the top of the stadium. If you're not sat in Raymond James, top of the stadium is top of the stadium. I've never sat there. The other section is lower down. So those season packages are out there. And if you are not sure where to find this, go check out the FQ FAMU Twitter page. I did drop that information on there for those who are interested in purchasing that ticket value there. There is a donation that goes to the athletic association, the alumni association, excuse me, $5. So, um, I got to, but if I don't, I use what I can. Other part of that, if you are looking for a place to stay, they are doing the touchdown in Tampa, AC Hotel, 145 a night. That is sponsored by the FAMU Alumni Association in Tampa as well. So they got you straight from tickets to hotels. They're getting you there. I am saying this as a person who runs the regional alumni association Twitter page. Payment dues next month. This summer. I know what happened during the summer for teachers. I got you. Though. I got your bread. Got your scratch. So but yeah, so letting y'all know those things are coming up as far as for the football game. Also, quick ad read. So, Mission and Tape, Tampa, Cable Buster TV. Who you gonna call? Cable Busters starting at $35 on up to 3 devices. 813-360-1902. CableBusterTV.com. So, um, Mission and the Family USF game. I'm gonna just go ahead and hit the nail on the head and tell y'all straight up. I don't think we win this game. I think we can, but I don't think we win. I think some of it is attrition. It's going to be a game of attrition, but it's not going to me, from my perspective and what I've seen from this coach in the past, in his past track, I don't think it's going to be that normal attrition where you just run the ball down each other's throat. No, because if on the field, I think USF has us offensively. And again, some of that is just numbers. Defensively, I think USF has got us there too. They got Daquan Evans from Jones High School that had draft potential, and that guy's good. I've seen him myself. And we're gonna see. We've seen our receivers get shut down before. I don't think they get shut down, but it's gonna be a challenge. Coaching though, I give that to FAMU because USF coach is a first year head coach. So in the first 2 games of the season, FAMU plays first year head coaches. It needs to be a 1-for-1 at least. I would like 2 for 0, but 1-for-1 at least. And this is another former offensive coordinator. We all know former offensive coordinators, they tend to, like to kind of push the tempo if they're coming from like one of those Big Ten schools like Wisconsin. And he's coming from Tennessee and Ohio State. And if you go and watch what Ryan Day does at Ohio State, as well as what Heupel does at Tennessee, ain't no bunch of motherfuckers running the ball as far as that's our primary offense. They're spreading it out. It's a high octane offense, and I think the best thing if you're a FAMU fan, if you want to go back and look at some of what you're going to see, go back and look at the FAMU UCF game from a few years ago. Go watch that FAMU UCF game where we came down to Orlando and practically sold out I almost said the Citrus Bowl, the Bounce House. I forgot they changed the name again, so that's why I'm just gonna call it the Bounce House. And it got out of hand quick. But that's the kind of offense you're probably going to see. I mean, because this guy is a disciple of Heupel. He also was a finalist for the World's Award, which goes to the top assistant coach in the FBS system. I had to make sure. So sorry for the eye roll. And that's just something that I'm personally going to be looking for. I do expect an offensive shootout. I also expect quite a few turnovers, just because I don't know about USF quarterback. Like, that's gonna be their biggest issue. Like, if I'm USF and I got the option, like, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't do position for position, but this is the one position for position spot where I would definitely tilt my hand to FAMU. I think Moose is better than USF, respectfully. I'm not, if you see me on the field, bro, don't start it. I don't want no smoke. I ain't trying to fight you over it. I'm just saying, from what I've seen, I'm a Moose fan on this one. And Moose is he's gonna make mistakes. We saw that in the USC game where he missed the read, threw it not the way it should have been thrown, and honestly, it was the change in the game, really cost us the game. But I fully speculate, just kind of watching this game, I expect it to be kinda close. I think FAMU's gonna get another game where you're gonna get some turnovers, and that's gonna be where this game changes, this game shifts. If FAMU is able to get a couple turnovers and limit its turnovers. For instance, I'm gonna say if FAMU can get the turnover lead 3-0 or 3-1, you got a chance to win this game because all of a sudden you are neutralizing the bodies. And the biggest thing when you're playing FBS to FCS is offensive line. It is definitely the offensive line, and we have a USF transfer on our line, but it's also depth. They can easily go into the pocket, go into the pocket. I got an extra so many scholarships, and these extra bodies I can prop. Whereas if you can keep it all, and FAMU's gonna have to run the ball. So you're gonna have to find a way to either establish a quick pass, run, or something because you're not gonna have all dang dumb day to sit back there in the pocket, pat the baby, burp the baby, and everything else. No, the ball's gonna have to come out quick. You're gonna have to see those secondary reads, and you're gonna have to be able to hit. If you're not hitting those secondary reads, it's not gonna work. Like we saw that some of with Jackson State, and I give credit to some of my brothers at the group chat. They pointed that out. Like at times we missed some receivers. Now I think some of the receivers with this they dropped the ball. But sorry, I'm not looking at that day. But that's gonna be the difference. Can FAMU execute on offense? Can they get tired of saying that. Can FAMU stay on schedule? Meaning first down is first and 10. Second down is second and 6 and below. Third down is third down and 3 and below. Because if it's third and 5, third and 7, good luck getting that first down. Because even if it's third and 3, at a certain point, they can still throw bodies at the problem. But you can still go with them a little bit. You're not gonna be able to go toe to toe with USF for 4 quarters by throwing bodies at the problem. But if you're able to slow the game down, get a point where Yant and Jennings are running downhill. That is gonna be something because we saw even last year when Terrell Jennings went against and those running backs were going against University of North Carolina, it was different. Like, it was definitely something where, "Oh, snap, these dudes ain't afraid of the contact." And you're gonna see very similar offensively, where you're gonna see 2 high-powered offenses. You're just not gonna have a quarterback that's gonna be what you saw against UNC. Let's be honest, Drake May was cold. Look, I ain't gonna say it like my daddy and my uncle would say, but that hype boy is cold. That dude is like that. USF, he ain't like that. He's good, but honestly, is he better than Mosa? That's a question. You know, just being real about it. I don't know. I think in the long run for this game though, FAMU's gotta win the tournament battle, and that's any game almost. I mean, every game except for the game against Lincoln, which hell, you could have played Lincoln High School, but you gotta win the turnover battle. Like, that's something you can't lose. But I really think if I think FAMU's gonna get at least an interception or 2 out of this quarterback. And the thing is, though, when that happens, does USF lean on its run game? Because that's gonna be the difference. If USF can establish the run, get the habit of kind of going on longer drives, especially after getting a lead against it's the same thing we saw with Jackson State and South Carolina State. If you were watching the game, the second South Carolina State got the lead and was able to run the ball, it was you could stop watching. You can go to the club, watch whatever, do whatever, throw ones, get drinks, it don't matter. It was over. Same thing here. FAMU is able to get the turn. and get a lead, all of a sudden you got to be able to start milking the clock. You got to turn the aggression off. Sometimes in the past, fans have been overly aggressive with leads, and you get cute. You run trick plays. You do stuff that you are trying to get attention. And I'm telling you right now, you run a trick play that it's not going to work. It's not going to work if you haven't established it. Like, if it's just something to run it just to run it. It's just the nature of the game is you gonna get caught. Now, if it's something where you've been honest all game long, you run this play, this happens, you run this play, and the same thing happens and it's predictable, it's gonna be just like you go to a restaurant. Certain restaurants, you don't check your order. Like, I'm sorry. This may be blasphemous for some of y'all, but everybody that I know has gone to Chick-fil-A at least once and they messed up your order. Just once. It is now normally 98% of the time, Chick-fil-A is right. They got your order. They say, "God bless your day." They done prayed over your meal. They done laid hands on it. It's the holy chicken. They're not gonna look, they don't even kill chicken on Sunday for Chick-fil-A. But every once in a while, they mess up your order. And by the time you get home is when you notice it. When you get home, you're like, "Man, I ain't going back. I'm tired. I done got to the house. I done took the good shoes off and took my socks off. I ain't doing nothing. I'm gonna take the L today." Now the next time you check it, and for about 3 weeks you check it, and then you stop checking your mail again. Like, get it back right now. Oh, I love this question. Okay. Ooh. Question is, what would be the storyline if Simmons wins following USF vacancy all season? Honestly, I think more smoke out of that from the HBCU community, their community, but I think the storyline is a coach that was mentioned as a potential head coaching candidate defeats the current coaching candidate. And I think that becomes a problem in 2 to 3 years just because you gotta look at what USF is doing. USF is trying to position themselves to be able to join the Big 12. Like, I'm down here in Orlando, I'm just saying, it's the news report every couple of days out of, that area, Tampa, saying, "Yeah, they're looking at you, we home with the bag." And they got probably going. They definitely home with the bag. And the difference is USF's about to build a football stadium on campus. That thing is debt ridden. That thing smells like that thing smells like the type of deal that goes on in Tampa. I'm just gonna say it. If you're a stadium nerd like me, that's kinda what you have with Raymond James Stadium. You're not gonna do nothing with that Raymond James Stadium for a while. The bond is so nuts on that. They borrowed millions to be able to build a stadium on campus, and they got an indoor practice facility. But I will say this, if that is the case, this coach gets 3 years, and if you don't turn it around, Willie Simmons will get that. I'll put that on wax. Like, so to answer your question, what's the storyline if Simmons wins following this? If you get 3 years, I think if Willie Simmons continues doing what he's doing at FAMU and having 10 wins and 9 wins and 1 and 2 lost seasons, I'm sorry. USF is gonna have to they'd be foolish not to offer. And if USF don't offer, don't be surprised if somebody else does. I mean, we could call a spade and, say something different, but I don't think, FAU makes that offer again because we just kinda saw what happened with Taggart and it's kinda Willie after Willie, even though Willie Simmons is much more well organized than Willie Taggart. You look at kinda how stuff went at Florida State. Just gonna say, I think Willie Simmons would be a shoo-in for D1 jobs, like, and depending on what that dude does in Colorado, because no, Willie Simmons is not Coach Prime, but you're starting to look at that, an African American coach, they compete against each other. And, for everything Prime is and Prime ain't, one thing he talk good about Willie Simmons. I don't care where you go. When it comes to talking about coaches in the SWAC and the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Willie Simmons is always the first or second name that Deion Sanders says when he's talking about dudes that deserve to get a shot at another school. And you can't discount the fact that Willie Simmons played at Clemson and had a nice showing against Clemson. I mean, and Clemson, damn near what is he? He beat UNC and put on a show against Florida State. I'm just saying, like, that doesn't get lost upon those who are football historians that yo, this guy's got the chops. Came in kind of under that Bowden system offensively, so you're gonna get that high octane offense. Then you're gonna start looking and seeing that in the past 3 years, FAMU's consistently had NFL draft prospects and draftable prospects. I mean, no, they don't get drafted, but you don't blame Willie Simmons if you're a pundit. You blame the University of Facilities and SWAC for that because you're gonna see a level of competition and this, that, and the third. Those are gonna be the talking narratives. But I think if FAMU pulls off this victory, man, it's gonna be some hand wringling, and I don't know how many checks are gonna get stroked because again, they just took out millions of dollars in bonds, hundreds of millions, to build this new stadium that's gonna be about 35 to 40,000 seats. It's gonna be tough for the alumni to then be convinced to do something like that. So I think going into the offseason though, your next question would be like, can you retain Willie Simmons? So that's gonna be the big question. Like again, FIU, especially like at FIU, like look what FIU did under Cristobal. I'm not a Mario Cristobal fan. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If you're a UM fan, I'm not gonna tell you I'm a Mario Cristobal fan. He can recruit. I don't see him as like a football mind. I've never like he can recruit and he always has really good offensive line. But I just don't know what he does. And I think down in Miami, he gonna do some numbers because he got talent coming in. But I think a FIU is a school that's gonna make a serious offer for a guy like Willie Simmons, where it's an exciting offense. It is a program where you can look and say, these kids ain't gotta go 8 hours to go to Tallahassee anymore. They can stay right here in South Florida. You get to stay in Florida. We're gonna pay you millions, and now you ain't gonna be right there on shady. I ain't gonna say the rest of the road, but you gotta be up there in your neighborhood, but you won't be far that. You won't be that far. You won't be far enough to where it won't matter. And I think that's what's gonna happen with that. Great question, Will. Now look, I didn't think about that one. But long story short, if I give y'all a score on this one, I'm gonna record my scores on this one so I keep myself uh, accountable. So the score for this one, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be close like the last one was. Honestly, the last FAMU versus USF game. Because go back and watch that one. It was closer than y'all thought. It was 38-17. That was 2021 September 18th, according to ESPN. Um, excuse me. Let me pull up the box score right fast. It was 24-3 at halftime. Okay. Yeah, I see something similar to this, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know what USF does a quarterback and looks like a quarterback. And I feel like FAMU's corners are better, if I'm being real. Like, you got Kendall Bowler, and I'm just saying, I think FAMU's secondary is better. I think the defensive line, I don't know. That was because that was the year you got Marquise Bell. Right. Look at that. Exactly. USF doesn't pull away to the fourth. That game is, if I remember correctly, it was we got to 24-10 at one point, and then they scored that touchdown. I think it was late in the third quarter. So Sean McKay was quietly like efficient, like 248 yards, one touchdown, a little bit below 50% throwing. Um, the USF quarterback wasn't all that. Like USF really got us run game. That running back they rushed for over 200 yards. So that's where it was. FAMU rushes for 100 yards, 130 yards that game. But passing wise, McKay goes for almost 250. I told y'all was sleeping on Rashawn McKay. Xavier Smith went for 130 that night. Um, yeah, yeah. And then we also had some turnovers. And in this game, FAMU won the turnover battle. So that's again, I did not just say that. Like just looking back in history, and I don't mind showing y'all, and I'll move it over so you can see it. Yes, I have three screens. But you can see right there it was 24-3 at half, but I think FAMU and they still have the 3 points up with you. Watch it. Netflix, or not, but YouTube. But they got the full box score up there, and you can kind of start to see, like, honestly, I think we I think we got a better chance this year, and that might have been another first year coach there, where and yeah, you can see the scoring there right here in order. So USF, FAMU field goal. We trade field goals. USF scores 3 touchdowns in a row, and FAMU scores a touchdown, and USF scores a touchdown. FAMU, USF. So that's how we get to 38-17. So go and check that out, though. But as he pointed out, Will pointed out, USF, they didn't just bludgeon us to death. And I think it's another game. You didn't get bludgeoned to death. I'm gonna say, uh, come back. Honestly, this is me. I'm gonna tell y'all this. As much as I like Moose, he's a gunslinger, and gunslingers tend to make more mistakes than McKay, who was more of McKay was protect the ball. I think that's the ball, though. So turnover is turnover either way. Closer to that first second football game for both of them. I'm going 24-20. That's gonna be my score. I think it's 24-20 because I think USF's offense in their first home game is gonna sputter. Um, look, I like it, Will. I like our chances this year. They got a first year coach, and I like our continuity. I agree. That's the reason I'm saying 24-20. I just think FAMU can win. And this is one of those where I think FAMU can win. I don't know if we will. But at the game, if I'm not sitting in the boxes, oh yeah, look, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not wearing one of these because I don't want to get sweaty. Unless I see another sale on it, I'm gonna get a backup one for the games. But I'm gonna be up there hooping and hollering. I ain't even gonna hold you on that one. This is gonna be one of those where if I'm not working it and I'm not doing stats, yeah, I'm not talking trash, but I'm living with every movement in this one. I think FAMU's secondary causes, or FAMU's defense as a whole causes 2 to 3 turnovers. I want to see what USF's quarterback is going to look like because I do feel like if it's who I've seen in the past, he struggles with accuracy, and he's going to be grappling with new offense, but with a very vanilla defense. FAMU is still that zone-based defense. You kind of know what it is. Live and die by it. Pisses me off. I hate it, but it can work. Problem is, with our zone defense, a lot of times it does rely on and it relies on the fact that I think my guys are more talented than yours, or my guys are equally talented to yours. And I don't think we're less talented than USF as much as we just don't have the access to some of the things, strength, conditioning, indoor practice facilities, some of those things, and that's going to make a difference in that game. So I think that does make a difference of 4 points between the two teams. I think it's going to be a tough fought battle, hard fought battle. The 100 always wins, though, so the marching marker will be there. But I think USF wins and pulls away late. It's going to be one of those where we're going to be, if all goes well, we'll be watching this game in the fourth quarter, biting our nails, and then right there, like, man, we almost won that game, though, Doc. Man, that game was good, though, bro. We almost, bro. It's going to be a lot of bro at the game, like, how I think that's my prediction for that game. So, long episode today, but recap. Coach Pillow does resign, and I gave y'all the coach I want. The coach I want is actually already in Tampa right now. I do want Jesse Tom, the coach of the University of Tampa. He is a graduate of Bluefield State University, Bluefield, West Virginia, the HBCU. I was like, I had to triple check that one. I was like, this one? He actually used to coach there, and is in their Hall of Fame from what I've seen. Um, if that is the correct Bluefield. I tried to fact check, but that is a guy I would really like to coach our position, even though, and I'll tell y'all, I'm gonna give this Coach Pillow, you will always be a girl. No hard feelings. I don't resonate with anyone who says she didn't try. It just didn't work. Um, it's just, FAMU's not a place for a first year coach. I've said that before she started, and I've said that now that she's gone. And with any of our coaches, FAMU, you look at our history and our track record, first coaches rarely do well at Florida. So she leaves, opens the door. I think the most likely candidate is going to be Coach Cromartie at FAMU DRs. feel like that's some young blood. She's just got herself in a position where really the odds-on favorite, especially to me, to be the heir apparent and to take over that program. And I think if you give her some support, um, if you talk contract numbers with her, 4-year contract, but you talk assistants with her, and who are your assistants? Who are you bringing in? And I think you're having the conversation with AD Sykes. The question is, what kind of assistance can I get to come in that can assist me and help me? And can I get a good 2? 'Cause one assistant ain't gonna do. I need 2 full-time assistants at least to be able to make this work. And I think that can happen. I think it's something that is at least viable. I also talked about why it didn't work. Again, FAMU's not a place for first-time coaches. I'll keep it there. Talked about the men's program there. If you do not go check HBC Game Days video, and honestly, so I'll give credit where credit is due. Vaughn Wilson, DJ Mega Ace Productions. He is the person and the man behind a lot of that when it comes to FAMU. Shout out to that brother. Very proud of him and what he's done. But he recorded it, he posted it, and go check out the video feed for the football stadium. They have a live feed for the renovations that are being done in the parking lot. I think it's not raining up there, so you might actually get to see something. Hopefully, they keep it up long enough for us to see the scoreboard. And then I talked about the FAMU USF game. What I think, why I think, how I think FAMU loses this game, but I think it's close. I think it's a game we can win. So if one of the players listening, I don't not have faith in you. I have complete faith in you. I'm just saying when I look at numbers, that it's gonna be tough. But I think we can actually win this game. I think this is the one of the 2, maybe 3 division FBS, I almost said division 1, FBS programs that we can defeat in the state. I think the FBS programs that you could defeat are definitely USF, FIU. I think we could give FIU a run for their money, especially with another program with a first year. But I think I gave the odds when I said who was better than what. I thought FAMU's offense is not quite as good as USF's offense. But I think FAMU's a better quarterback, and that's largely because of numbers. Let me keep it there. Defensively, I did go with USF, but again, it's close. Like it's not a blown away thing. Both teams have amazing corners. USF's corner is coming off injury though. So is he gonna start? Is Daquan gonna start? Is the question. Coaching, I gave that to FAMU. I think FAMU's got a better coach, and largely it's because of experience. Willis Simmons has had his mistakes. He's had the moments where it was like, something didn't work. And I don't know how many times USF's coaches had that as a head coach. I mean, we go back to the Jackson State loss at home. We saw where a mistake cost us the game. We've seen this. So we're seeing now where Willie's learned from mistakes. And I think something has to be said about experience, being the best teacher. And yeah, I think even with experience and fame, being a better coach and what I feel is a better quarterback, I feel like just the number of scholarships and the number of bodies that USF can throw at the problem is going to outweigh our ability to really match them. Because I think honestly, on paper, these 2 teams, if you give FAMU the same amount of scholarships as USF, I'm probably taking FAMU. Like if we're saying facilities are equal, Christian programs are equal, funding to the programs are equal, I think FAMU can this. But since they're not, it's what it is, y'all. So we have hit an entire hour. Y'all know I don't never go this long, but we had a lot to talk about. Come back, join us on Thursday. Look, I'm gonna try to reach out to some more people, man. Coach, I appreciate our assistant AD, Troy Johnson, coming on. Reach out to some more folks, man. Get them on here and talking about FAMU and FAMU athletics. We'll talk about that next home game, though, after that. FAMU's first home game of the season after playing USF in 2, a pseudo home game and an away game. And what is this? Ooh, we got West Florida. Ken Riley / USA. The game I sure as shit don't want. I'm sorry. I don't want to play them. I don't like them. But they got a new coach. And I think another time where we're looking at FAMU's playing three first games of the season or first three games are against first year head coaches. And that's going to be interesting because we have no film on them, we got film on us. But then how did this message resonate with Jackson State, USF, and West Florida, who all have first year head coaches? Um, I think FAMU ends 2-1 if I'm going to give you my prediction, but you can see why. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of this investing in champion stuff. Kind of why AD Sykes may be doing some of what she's doing with that. And I'll be honest with y'all, I kind of like if I'm going to be honest with y'all with the OBC, I would like us to do the OBC with the away team. Right? We're playing South Carolina State. Take that game down there. That's an away game. Don't hurt us. We are playing somebody like that. Use the FAMU brand and the FAMU name to get that $300,000-$400,000 with everything paid for, opposed to taking a home game away. Because I mean, my parents are investing in champion supporters, and their biggest complaint was we're spending all this money. Yeah, we retired, but we only get home games. Like that's too much game. Like it's a big ask, just as an alumni, and even as somebody who doesn't live in Tallahassee, if I was going to every game and I had to travel 3 hours, didn't pay $1,000 for season tickets, didn't pay $150, $200 for a hotel and 100 in gas, man, that starts to add up real quick when ESPN is $30 a month. Click. Just saying. And we are trendsetters. So I will give you that as we head out. FAMU is a trendsetter. We always have been. We always will be. We have been on the cusp for so many things. One of the things we've definitely seen is the University of Florida is reducing its stadium size. It's not something that's going away, and it is a response to our current conditions and what we all do as far as watching athletics. So, but as we head out, big shout out to HBCU Digital Network. This is home. Also, big sponsor. Last day, if you are over there in the Kennesaw, Georgia area, Results Only Fitness, the sign up for tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yes, for the pre-membership special. First month is free, 40% off. He is a FAMU Rattler. He is a retired man of the military, a military strategist. It's the Philip. So go support him, y'all. And man, looking forward to seeing what Hurt's got coming up with the band. So as always, y'all, it's gonna be Fangs Up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it?